Hello and welcome back to World 360. On Tuesday, Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman made his first visit to the White House in over 7 years. He held a meeting with US President Donald Trump. It is also MBA's first visit to the US since the 2018 killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. We will talk about that in just a bit. But first, let's discuss what were the highlights and big decisions from the meeting. This meeting included significant dialogues as well as deals on military cooperation and economy. Firstly, Trump approved the sale of F 35 fighter jets to Saudi Arabia on Sunday. Saudi Arabia has been trying to get 48 F 35 fighter jets. Next, a cornerstone move that happened in this meeting was that Trump designated Saudi Arabia as a major non NATO ally. This lets the kingdom to become the 20th non NATO partner of the US, joining other allies such as Egypt, Israel, and Qatar. This status gives a country priority access to military equipment and cooperation of the US while skipping many of the usual licensing hurdles. Third, both nations wrapped up a broader agreement on military, and a deal for Saudi Arabia to buy about 300 tanks from the US was done. And it also included US Saudi Strategic Defense Agreement. This agreement supports Trump's America First agenda by making it easier for US defense firms to work in Saudi Arabia and strengthen the more than 80 years defense partnership. Further details of this defense agreement are awaited. Consistent with this line, the Crown Prince also announced that Saudi Arabia will up its investment in the US from already 600 billion pledged to nearly $1 trillion. On the issue of Palestine, Saudi said that they would join the Abraham Accords but only after there is a credible and guaranteed path to Palestinian statehood. We want to be part of the Abraham Accords, but we also want to be sure that we secure a clear path of two-state solution, MBS said. Now, coming to a bone of contention. Just a few years ago, many long-time Western partners, including Joe Biden, shunned MBS because of the Khashoggi murder in Istanbul. But Trump and MBS have developed a warm accord since early. And when asked in the Oval Office during the press conference with the two leaders about the 2018 killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi by Saudi agents, Trump said MBS knew nothing about it. A lot of people didn't like the gentleman that you're talking about, whether you like him or didn't like him. Trump said, things happened, but he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. Trump's statement contradicts US intelligence that had concluded previously that MBS approved the capture or killing of journalist Khashoggi at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Now, for the next story. China has told Japan that it will ban all imports of Japanese seafood, as reported by a Chinese media outlet. On Wednesday, China's foreign ministry spokesperson said that due to the erroneous remarks made by Japanese Prime Minister Sane Takeichi on important Taiwan issues, there has been strong public outrage in China. Although Mao did not confirm if a ban was in place, but she said that under the current circumstances, even if Japanese seafood were exported to China, there would be no market for it. Japan, however, claims that it has not yet received any confirmation from China on this. This episode came as the diplomatic spat is rising between the two countries. On Tuesday, Japan issued an advisory warning its citizens living in China to be extra careful and avoid crowded places. China has urged its citizens not to travel there. Chinese tourists make up almost a quarter of all visitors to Japan, and the warning caused tourism related stocks in Japan to drop sharply, as per a Reuters report. So, what's the uptick of the tensions between Asia's two largest economies? Earlier this month, Takeichi told Japanese parliament that if China attacked Taiwan in a way that threatened Japan's safety, it could lead to a military response. She further elaborated that if such actions involved warships and military operations, it could potentially become a survival threatening situation for Japan. The comments led to a quick retaliation from China, who warned that more actions could follow. Last Friday, Beijing said it had called in Japan's ambassador, while Tokyo said it had summoned China's ambassador over an inappropriate online post that has since been removed. Further, China's foreign ministry pressed Takeichi to take back her comments, but Japan's top spokesperson said Tokyo had no plans to do that. He said her remarks did not change the government's position and added that Japan hopes Taiwan issues can be settled peacefully through dialogue. Earlier, also, China had sent its coast guard into the waters around the Senkaku Islands and flown military drones near Japan's outlying territory, raising tensions after Takechi's remarks. On Sunday, the Chinese Coast Guard said its ship carried out a rights enforcement patrol in the Senkaku waters, which Japan controls, but China also claims as the Diaoyu Islands. Next, let's shift focus to Poland's railway line blast. On Tuesday, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk blamed Russia for the explosion on a rail line linking Poland's capital Warsaw to the border with Ukraine. He accused that the two Ukrainian citizens who were working for Russia of causing the explosion over the weekend. Another separate incident happened on the same day where power lines over another segment of the same rail line further south were also damaged. Tusk described the incident as an unprecedented act of sabotage. Though the blast led to no injury, Prime Minister Tusk stated that it was most likely intended to blow up the train. Both incidents are being investigated as sabotage. Meanwhile, on Tuesday, Russian spokesperson Dmitry Peskov told that Russia is accused of all forms of hybrid and direct warfare taking place in Poland. In this regard, Russophobia is, of course, in full bloom. The Polish railway line is imperative for delivering aid and weapons to Ukraine. Polish officials say the incident may be part of a wider pattern of pressure and disruption linked to Russia. Poland has previously also faced reported attacks from Russia. For example, in September 2025, Poland claimed an incursion into its airspace by Russian drones. Russia has then denied targeting Polish territory. That's it for today. Thank you for watching.